Emma Lawson smoothed her apron nervously, stepping back to admire the table she had prepared. The air smelled of roasted chicken, garlic, and warm bread, scents she hoped would soften Marcus Hale's ever-sharpening edge. The silverware gleamed, flowers stood in perfect symmetry, and candles flickered. She hurried to change into a blue silk dress he once praised, pinning her hair neatly the way his mother insisted. "He'll remember tonight," she whispered at her reflection. The front door opened. Marcus, tall and commanding in his dark suit, dropped his briefcase and scanned the room with disinterest. His lip curled when his eyes landed on her. Emma's heart lifted nervously. "It's lemon butter chicken, your favorite. Just us, a quiet dinner." He laughed, bitter. "Chicken. I spend my days on wagyu and fine wine, and you think I'll get excited about this?" Emma's cheeks burned. "I only wanted to make you happy." He sneered, dragging the plate close. "Do you think food makes me happy? Do you think playing house is what I need?" After one bite, he spat his verdict. "Dry. Bland. Useless." Emma fought tears. "I spent hours." "On what?" he cut in sharply. "Folding napkins. You sit in this house all day, and still fail at the one thing you're meant to do." His eyes hardened. "Trying isn't enough. Not for me. I need more than love. I need a woman who elevates me. You've never done that." Emma whispered. "I gave up my career for you. I sold my car so you could start your business. I stayed up doing your books, called investors when you were too nervous." Marcus slammed the table. Candles quivered. "Stop rewriting history. I built everything. You were nothing but a shadow. You don't belong beside me. You belong behind me." His words cut deeper than a blade. Tears blurred her eyes as the doorbell rang. Vanessa Reed swept in, crimson dress painted onto her figure, a bakery box in hand. Her smile was sharp, rehearsed. "Pistachio macarons, your favorite, Emma. Isn't that thoughtful?" She scanned the house like an appraiser dismissing a property. Her eyes lingered on old photos of Emma and Marcus. Sweet. Still small, still safe. Emma forced a smile. "Thank you." Vanessa leaned close, voice dripping with mock concern. "Marcus mentioned you've been emotional. His carrying so much, and you?" Her gaze flicked over Emma's modest clothes. "You're still dressing like a schoolteacher's helper. No shape. No edge. You're sending him the message, I'll disappear quietly." Emma's chest tightened. "He likes me simple." "He likes you obedient," Vanessa corrected. Her tone cooled. "He's moving on. There will be lawyers. Statements. He wants it clean." Emma's world tilted. "He sent you to tell me." Vanessa smiled cruelly. "He trusts me. He says being with me is like oxygen, and going home to you feels like drowning." Emma's knees buckled. "We used to laugh together." "You used to," Vanessa said softly. "Then he grew, and you didn't. You wanted him small enough to stay in your hands. He doesn't want soft anymore. He wants someone who shines." Emma's voice shook. "You were my friend." Vanessa's eyes flashed with bitter delight. "I wanted the way he looked at you. Now I have it." She placed an envelope on the counter. "His lawyer's draft. Sign it quickly. Don't embarrass him. Don't show up unless invited." The door clicked shut behind her. Emma unfolded the papers with trembling hands. Irreconcilable differences. Legal language blurred. She stared at the wedding photo, two hopeful faces who once believed love was enough. A text buzzed her phone, Marcus in a candlelit room, hand on Vanessa's knee, a jewelry box between them. Emma pressed her palms to the table's wood grain, the same table she had once used to roll pastries and balance his accounts. Her father's words echoed, "Who will need you when he doesn't?" Her breath came shallow, but she steadied herself. She smoothed the invitation pinned to the fridge. Family dinner on Friday. She would go. She would stand through whatever came, and she would not break. The Hale family estate stood immaculate, like a photograph in an architectural magazine. Stone walls gleamed, hedges trimmed into military precision, and glass that reflected without a single smudge. Emma Lawson climbed the steps carrying a small box of handmade truffles. She had tied and retied the ribbon until it lay smooth. Marcus opened the door. His first glance was not at her, but past her, scanning the driveway as if to see who might be watching. His eyes landed on the ribbon. He frowned. "Don't make this sentimental. Keep it clean tonight." Emma's voice was soft. "I brought them for your mother. She loves dark chocolate." "Don't get in the way," he said flatly, turning his back. Inside, Mrs. Hale greeted her with two distant air kisses. "Emma, how respectful you look." She accepted the truffles, lifting the lid like an inspector at customs. Oh, homemade. How quaint. She set the box aside untouched. At the long table, Emma looked for a seat near Marcus, but a card marked her name at the far end, alone. She lowered herself into the chair, folding her hands tightly in her lap. Conversation flowed over her like waves that refused to reach her shore. Vanessa Reed entered in a crimson dress that hugged her figure like poured silk. Mrs. Hale leaned toward her admiringly. That dress is exquisite. Finally, someone who understands presentation. Thank you, Vanessa said with a demure smile. Marcus likes me in red. He says it looks like a decision. The table laughed. Emma dropped her gaze to her plate. Halfway through the meal, Marcus tapped his glass. The room hushed as easily as if the air obeyed him. Family, friends, he said smoothly. Thank you for coming on short notice. I wanted to tell you myself, face to face. Emma clasped her hands tighter. Emma and I are ending our marriage. His sigh sounded rehearsed. Gasps stirred around the table. Someone muttered, finally. Someone else whispered, "Sure, be kind." Marcus continued. It's been clear for some time we want different things. I move quickly. I need a partner who keeps pace. Emma is stable, gentle, many domestic gifts. He paused, letting the room chuckle at her expense. But she is not the partner I need in the life I'm building. Heat crawled up Emma's neck. She fixed her eyes on a scratch on her plate, anything to hold her still. Marcus raised his glass toward Vanessa. In the spirit of clarity, meet the woman who lifts me higher. Vanessa is my future. Vanessa gave a bashful wave, practiced to perfection. We hadn't planned to say anything yet, but honesty is healthy. We're together. Emma's voice escaped her before she could stop it. Marcus. He looked down the table, smile thinning. Emma, not now. I need to say something, she said, standing as though her body had chosen for her. Forks froze mid-air. Vanessa slid gracefully back into her chair, eyes shining with satisfaction. Emma's voice trembled but did not break. I loved you, Marcus. I gave you everything. I sold my car so you could launch your business. I pawned my ring for payroll when your supplier demanded cash. I stayed up doing your books, called investors when you couldn't. I cooked for your clients, pressed your shirts at 2 a.m., told you were brave when you wanted to run. I let my friends drift away because you said they didn't fit your image. I told my parents you were good, even when they warned you'd break me. I gave you everything. A sharp cough of laughter came from a cousin down the table. Is this a speech? Mrs. Hale dabbed her eyes as if tears might come. Very moving, dear. But this is dinner, not a diary. Mr. Hale cleared his throat. The past is the past. Business looks forward. Emma tried again, but Marcus lifted his glass as if to erase her. To clarity. To growth. To a future big enough for those who can keep up. The family echoed him with crystal chimes. Emma's chest ached like it might split. Vanessa leaned forward, whispering loud enough to carry. Don't make this uglier than it needs to be. Sign quickly. Don't ask for much. Keep your dignity. Don't follow us. It looks needy. Something small and stubborn sparked in Emma. I'm not needy. Vanessa's smile curved. You are. But it's not your fault. Outside on the stone steps, laughter spilled from the dining room behind her. Emma's phone buzzed again. A photo, Marcus's jacket on a hotel floor, Vanessa's red dress draped over a chair, champagne half-drained on the nightstand. Emma's legs buckled. She sat on the cold step, palms pressed together, not to pray, but to hold herself in place. The night stretched large, unkind, and endless. Still, she rose and walked toward the street. She did not look back. Emma Lawson's apartment smelled faintly of bleach and emptiness. Bills sat stacked on her kitchen table, red stamps shouting past due. Her fridge offered half a loaf of bread and a jar of mustard. She unclasped the silver bracelet her late mother had given her and whispered, I'm sorry, Mom. By afternoon, it was pawned to cover rent. Whispers followed her everywhere. At the market, women glanced over shoulders. Isn't that Marcus Hale's ex? She looked so thin. I heard Vanessa said she went crazy, always crying, always calling him. Emma gripped her cat, cheeks hot, pretending not to hear. At a cafe one afternoon, she saw Vanessa surrounded by the very women who once filled Emma's home with chatter. Poor Emma, Vanessa crooned, voice sweet enough to curdle. She just couldn't handle Marcus's success. He needed a real partner, not dead weight. The table erupted in laughter, every sound cutting Emma's skin like glass. Marcus spread his own poison. When asked why the divorce, he shrugged smoothly. She wasn't built for this world. She was bitter. Tried to hold me back. Soon Emma was no longer Emma, just a story rewritten by others until even she didn't recognize herself. She tried to rebuild the ordinary way. Job applications, interviews, receptionist roles, office assistant postings. At first, managers smiled, impressed by her composure. "We'll be in touch," one promised, but hours later the call came. "We've gone in another direction." Another firm cancelled outright. Finally, an HR woman whispered over the phone. "Off the record, Marcus Hale warned firms not to hire you. Said you'd cause trouble." "I'm sorry." Emma hung up slowly. Hollow. Marcus didn't just want to leave her. He wanted her erased. Rent loomed again. She sold her last designer bag, a relic of Marcus's first bonus. Soon she was wiping tables at a cafe, carrying trays, overhearing customers whisper, "Isn't that Marcus Hale's ex serving coffee?" How humiliating. She smiled as she cleared plates, though inside her heart caved in. Two women from her old circle walked in one afternoon, their perfume sharp, their eyes sharper. They leaned together and whispered just loud enough. She must be desperate. Emma's cheeks burned, but she kept wiping the counter. At night, she sat under weak yellow light, pen scratching lists, rent, groceries, laundry coins. Sometimes tears blurred the ink, but she always picked the pen back up. One grey morning at the cafe, a voice called softly, "Emma." She turned. Mr. Grant, her former boss. His hair was more silver now, but his eyes still sharp. "Mr. Grant," she said, tugging at her apron. "What are you doing here?" She whispered, "Working." He frowned. "This isn't where you belong." "What happened?" "Life." He studied her, then nodded. "Come see me tomorrow." "My office." His office was small, lined with books. He poured her coffee, then spoke plainly. "You gave up too much for a man who didn't deserve it. But I remember you. Steady. Disciplined. Detail-oriented. Use it." Her eyes burned. "I don't know where to start." "One step at a time. Study. Learn. Build quietly. Let them think you're broken while you prepare." "Do you think I can?" "I know you can, if you're willing to bleed for it." So she bled. She worked odd jobs, cafe shifts, cleaning offices, babysitting, coming home exhausted but opening books instead of collapsing. She studied contracts, logistics, event planning. Nights she cried into her pillow, then wiped her face and kept reading. Mr. Grant coached her, introducing her to small investors. "She's not flashy," he told them, "but she delivers." They gave her tiny contracts. She cooked in her apartment kitchen, decorated with dollar store balloons, scrubbed floors at 2 a.m. Clients raved. Word spread. Her first venue was a crumbling hall at the city's edge. She bought it cheap, painted walls herself, polished the floors, strung lights. Her first wedding there was small but magical. Guests whispered, "This feels like a dream." She bought another hall. Then 2 more. Her company's name appeared on invitations, whispered with respect. Staff grew. Investors came to her. Meanwhile, Marcus and Vanessa paraded through galas, mocking her in public. Emma's bitter. Vanessa scoffed at brunch. "She's playing businesswoman." But Emma said nothing. She didn't need to. Her growing empire answered for her. One crisp morning, her assistant burst into her office with a folder. "Big news. We just booked a wedding. Groom, Marcus Hale." Emma's pen froze midline. "And his bride, Vanessa Reed. They chose our catering and the grand Ashford Hall." Her hall. The very hall Marcus once mocked her for not affording. Emma flipped through the signed contract. Marcus's bold scrawl. Vanessa's elegant flourish. A small, sharp smile curved her lips. "Yes," she said softly. "Confirm it." She stood at her office window, gazing down at the city that had once discarded her. Now it whispered her name with respect. And on Marcus's wedding day, the woman he called worthless would own the ground beneath his feet. The marble floors of the grand Ashford Hall gleamed, chandeliers dripping light like captured stars. Staff in crisp black and white uniforms moved with precision under Emma Lawson's quiet command. Every flower, every glass, every plate bore her touch. This was her empire, though Marcus Hale had no idea. He arrived for rehearsal, Vanessa Reed glittering at his side. Emma, in her server's uniform with hair pulled tight and clipboard in hand, stood near the champagne wall. Marcus spotted her instantly, his grin curling into cruelty. "Well," he said loudly, ensuring others heard, "if it isn't my favorite volunteer." Vanessa's smile widened, sharp as glass. Oh, Marcus, you didn't tell me we'd have familiar help. Marcus stepped closer, dropping his voice but not enough to hide it. On my wedding day, she'll serve. She'll wear the uniform, carry the trays, bow before my guests. That's all the respect a woman like her deserves. His words echoed across the hall. Staff froze. A florist fumbled a stem. Emma's expression stayed calm. She lowered her clipboard. Understood. I'll be where you want me. Marcus smirked, waiting for a crack. When none came, he laughed. Try not to drop anything. Careful with champagne, Vanessa added smoothly. It stains. They walked away, laughing at some small cruelty. Emma lifted her pen and tapped the clipboard once. Maya, her event coordinator, leaned close. Boss, you sure about this? Emma's eyes never wavered. We stick to the plan. No mistakes. And the other plan? Maya asked softly. Only if the time is right. The next afternoon, guests swept in wearing gowns and tuxedos, dripping with jewels and whispers. Emma carried trays of champagne, had bowed just enough to appear obedient. But she heard the whispers. Is that her? Serving drinks. After everything he gave her? How humiliating. A woman in emerald silk murmured. Fitting, don't you think? I heard she begged to work here. He took pity. Another replied. Almost feel sorry for her. Almost. Emma poured champagne, face composed, heartbeat steady. Vanessa entered in a gown that glittered like fire. She spotted Emma and deliberately drifted across the room. My train, she said with a tilt of her chin. Emma knelt, adjusting the fabric. Vanessa's voice carried just far enough. Imagine falling so low you end up here. I'd die before serving at my ex's wedding. Laughter rippled. Emma rose silently, picked up her tray, and walked away. Dinner flowed with elegance, music swelling, courses served, wine poured. Marcus basked, shaking hands, bragging about ventures. At one point, he gestured toward Emma. We believe in second chances. Some people are happiest when they serve. Laughter circled. Emma moved past like a shadow. Then came the toasts. The MC raised his MSc, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our bride and groom. Marcus seized the microphone first. I'll start, I always start. Guests laughed. Tonight is about love, but also destiny. Some people are born to shine. Others are meant to clap. And some, his eyes locked on Emma by the champagne wall, are built to serve. This laughter was thinner, edged with discomfort. Vanessa took the mic, her voice honeyed. I'm grateful to every woman who showed me what not to be. Wrong doors close so we can walk through the right one. And tonight, I'm in the right dress, with the right man. Guests cheered, glasses clinked. The MC smiled. And now, before dessert, a quick word from our floor captain, who's made tonight possible. Please welcome Emma Lawson. The room stirred. Whispers spread. Marcus's smile froze. Vanessa's hand tightened around her glass. Emma set her tray down and walked calmly to the stage. Her uniform glowed under the lights, a picture of servitude, until she untied her apron, folded it neatly, and placed it on the podium. Her voice was clear. Good evening. Thank you for trusting us with your celebration. A ripple of relief moved through the crowd. Good, she'll say something polite and small. But Emma's eyes swept the hall. Before dessert is served, there's something you should know about this house. Maya straightened at the back. Liam, head of security, folded his arms. Jonah in the AV booth dimmed the lights to a soft glow. Emma stood tall. This hall belongs to me. Gasps swept the room. Marcus's smile cracked. Vanessa's face drained white. This service, these staff, every detail tonight, it all belongs to me. While I was erased from rooms like this, I was building. For 3 years, I studied, invested, and bought the halls where you gather. The ground beneath your feet is mine. Sophia laughed sharply. Lies. She's delusional. Jonah pressed a key. The giant screen lit with a deed, Grand Ashford Hall, owner, Lawson Holdings LLC. Then another deed. Another hall. Familiar names where Marcus and Vanessa had flaunted themselves, all Emma's. The room erupted in gasps. Marcus backed. Fake. Forged. From the balcony, Mr. Grant's voice carried. I can confirm these are legitimate. I represent her investors. The whispers swelled, hungry now. Partners shifted in their seats, eyes darting. Marcus's parents looked suddenly uneasy. Emma's voice remained steady. Receipts don't lie. The screen flickered again. Emails and texts filled the hall. Vanessa's message to the booking office appeared. Please confirm the grand staircase. Also, make sure the servers look humble. Gasps. Vanessa's composure cracked. That's out of context, she cried. Another slide, Marcus to a colleague. Blacklist her. Don't let her get hired. She's poison. On my wedding day, she'll serve. She'll bow. The collective intake of breath was sharp. Guests shifted, ashamed to have laughed earlier. Marcus's voice rose, frantic. How did you get these? You hacked me. This is illegal. Emma didn't flinch. All obtained legally. Shared with my attorneys and investors. The next slide showed credit card statements. Jewelry billed to Marcus's foundation account. An email followed, reclassify as donor engagement. If anyone asks, use Emma's name. At the front table, a foundation board member stood, face thunderous. We'll discuss this tomorrow. He strode out. 2 more followed. Vanessa whirled on Marcus. You used charity money for my ring. You told me to, he snapped. You said optics mattered. I didn't tell you to steal. Their fight spilled across the table, raw and jagged. Guests whispered, horrified. Investors leaned together, muttering about withdrawals. Another message appeared, Vanessa to Marcus. She'll sign if we starve her. You already told firms she's poison. She'll fold. The crowd groaned. Disgust simmered. One investor rose. Consider our partnership suspended, Marcus, indefinitely. Marcus turned red, rage trembling in his jaw. You're fools if you believe her. She's nothing but a bitter ex in a borrowed uniform. Emma tilted her head. Not borrowed. Paid for. Like everything here. Applause cracked the silence, first scattered, then growing. Staff, then guests. Vanessa's mask shattered. Her voice rose, shrill. You think they'll remember you as a queen? They'll remember you kneeling, fixing my dress, bowing with a tray in your hand. Emma's voice softened, almost kind. Service isn't shame. It's skill. The shame is using people and calling it love. Her words rippled through the hall. Servers straightened, pride in their eyes. Guests exchanged uneasy glances. Truth had shifted the room's gravity. Marcus jabbed a finger at the screen. I'll sue you for defamation, theft, everything I can. From the balcony, Mr. Grant's calm voice cut through. With what money? You've lost your investors already. Silence fell like a hammer. Vanessa ripped her veil, fabric tearing. You humiliated me, she screamed at Marcus. You told me to, he roared back. Bride and groom dissolved into enemies before dessert could be served. Emma set the microphone down gently. I've said enough. Her gaze rested briefly on the ruins of their performance. You taught me betrayal, and betrayal made me stronger. You laughed at my fall, but tonight you celebrated in my house. Maya's voice whispered over staff radios, open the terrace. The great doors swung wide, cool night air rushing in. Guests streamed toward the fresh air, some leaving entirely, others murmuring with shame. Emma folded her apron one last time and descended the stage. Staff parted reverently. Some clapped quietly as she passed. Liam, head of security, walked at her side like a shield. At the entrance, reporters leaned over ropes. Ms. Lawson, a statement. Emma's voice was calm. Tonight belongs to the guests. Make sure they get home safely. She walked into the night, head high, heart steady. Behind her, Marcus shouted, Vanessa cried, investors stormed out. Their empire crumbled before it began. Emma didn't need to watch. She had already won. Weeks later, headlines told the story. Marcus Hale, contracts cancelled, reputation shredded. Vanessa Reed, dropped from boards, abandoned by her circle. Their union, once meant to be a spectacle, had become a cautionary tale. Emma kept working. She signed paychecks, bought another hall, and walked her venues late at night when they were empty, gratitude echoing in her steps. When people whispered her name now, it was not with pity, it was with awe. Betrayal had once broken her, but resilience built her empire. And those who mocked her downfall now rented space beneath the chandeliers of the palace she owned.